Hello.
Hello. Never have we started the rankings so quickly. I feel like normally we go to hit record and then it takes us an additional 20 minutes to
Oh,
actually hit
no,
record.
this
This
is
is so exciting.
great to hear from someone who never records the rankings on their computer.
Yeah. Really happy. Um, welcome to week 8 of the BBSS 18 rankings. Um,
Following ranking 6, 7.
and following ranking 6, 7, of course. Um, what a week. What a week. Not necessarily because of the result. The result was Andre went home, who like okay, whatever, like vibes, I guess. Um, the game is not majorly impacted by Andre leaving. However, we saw one side totally dissolve due to an epic crash out from one Sarah Moynihan, due to an
From
epic
last week.
fumble by one Julia Moss, by some little fumbling by Coop. Like just everything crumbled. Everything crumbled. In addition, we've seen this other side solidify. And this is honestly the first week this whole season that I've been able to take a step back and go, like, this feels like finally just normal, not like predictable, but like I finally feel comfortable enough with the stasis of the game after what happened this week to like, I feel like it give actual rankings that I have like a basis in and will be more normal. The wind in New York City right now is nuts. I'm not sure. I doubt you can hear it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could hear it. It is like
I can hear it.
whipping by, like whistling.
It's
It's
something weird to hear.
scary. Anyway, I will be excited to give rankings that aren't like look at that bar of last week's rankings. Pull up
Right.
the slide and look at the bar.
Yeah.
And that's not even just last week. This has just been the normal.
And
This
that
week,
wasn't us being like annoying. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's us being annoying, but also it's been respectfully to people so far. People have not been acting in their best interest. People have been moving weirdly. And
It
this is
wasn't,
the first time
yeah.
that I legitimately feel like, oh, okay, like we're moving in a direction. I can now see, I think clearly, finally, at the final 10, see where this game is
Final
heading.
nine.
I'm excited to give out some scores and give some thoughts that maybe are a little more normal.
We're into single digits now.
We are. Shall we dive in?
I'm ready when you are.
Well, let's do it then. We are kicking things off with Abdul. Last week, I went down to a 4 for Abdul, and you stayed at your 5. Um, for me, this week, Abdul, not that I'm losing steam on Abdul. I'm not. I think he is still like a dark horse pick to win this season. However, I think it is just that dark horse pick because I think he is surrounding himself with allies that are always going to be doing more and like thinking ahead of him. Um, which is a tough spot to be, but I think that's less so his spot and more so just kind of like the type of player he is. I don't see what room he's going to have to navigate to like push his own thoughts or agenda at this point, which again isn't a horrible thing because the people that he's aligned with, yes, they're doing more, but I think they're doing more to target each other. Um, on paper, Andre going home this week probably wasn't great for him. Andre is someone that like should have in theory been really loyal to Abdul. However, Andre is kind of an unpredictable mess in my opinion. So I don't hate the move here on his part. Um, the biggest positives that I can say for Abdul is with Andre going home, this other side is completely shattered. He had a good conversations with Rod and Sarah who are on board with him. And I think he's only got Julia and Cooper as like legitimate forces against him that he's not connected to. Um, the downsides is I think Gabby and Karina specifically are very willing to let Abdul be like the fall guy if their side goes down. And they've already started planting those seeds. Um, I again now for the first time being able to like predict where this season is going, think that Abdul will be fine for a while. However, I don't currently think that Abdul is setting himself up for long-term success. I could see Abdul landing in a solid sixth place, a solid fifth place. That's kind of what I see for his truth right now. So, with all of that said, I will be raising my score because I think he's in a solidly average position, but I think it is solidly average. I will be raising my score back to a five.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be staying at my five. I think I think I agree with you where I see him most likely in a sixth or a fifth position. Um, I just feel like the people he's working with have played flashier games and he's not gonna be able to get them out. Um, but that's just for right now. I don't think that has to be locked in, but I am gonna give a five for this week. And let me pull this up. Yeah, I'm the same. Cool. Andre.
Okay. Andre, last week I said was on the up and up. And oh, I would say how the mighty have fallen, but he was never mighty in the first place. Love you, Andre. Um, I this is just gonna sound shady, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think Andre thinks consistently that he's been playing a better game than he actually has. This result was inevitable. He hasn't been playing the middle. He's in the beginning wasn't playing at all, got kind of left in the middle, and then has been a flip-floppy rat floater, thinking that he's been like masterminding in the middle, I guess, but like hasn't been, and no one's really been loyal to him. He's constantly putting his own foot in his mouth by exposing, oh, like why he exposed the pentagram, I'll never know. To Karina of all people, like Andre. You like this is like this was never going to work. What were we thinking? Um, and it took absolutely nothing at all for him to go home. He went home 7-0, the first unanimous vote of the season. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't also
Yeah.
see a ton of campaigning because I think that he thought that he was good. Per the last in-person conversation I had with him, which was last night, which was also with Julia and Cooper, mind you, as a funny plot twist. He was like, oh, like I don't want to be a final nom. And like Julia was like, yeah, but you're probably gonna be fine though. And Andre's like, no, like I know, but like it still sucks. And it's like, ooh, no. Because of that, I didn't see enough campaigning from him, if I'm being honest. Um, but even if he did, I think it would have like people just don't trust anything that he has to say because he's been caught lying to all sides when he really had no business doing that. Um, I'm gonna give him the one. I don't have a reason to give it two, and therefore it's gonna be a one from me.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a toss up this week. It wasn't a huge consideration to be predicting Rob. I feel like I'll have to be at a one as well. Um, I don't think there was ever like solid gameplay from the start. And again, this was inevitable. We've been talking about something like this happening for a few weeks now, like almost since the beginning of the season. So it'll be a one for me as well. Mhm. Cooper.
Cooper. You want to talk about someone that's been playing the middle? Let's talk about Cooper. He has such an insane ability to just yap his way in and out of every single situation. Um, I truly don't think that anybody aside from Julia really trusts Cooper at this point. I don't think anyone like doesn't trust Cooper at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there have been some people where people have compared notes and they're like, oh, wow, they're telling me different stories and yada, yada, yada. And I think where most people stand with Cooper is like, wow, he's shady, but I do believe what he's telling me. So, and it's like, that's wild. That's wild. Um, I think he has kind of set himself up in the position where every single person in the house would like to see him on the block. That's not good. So I will be lowering my score. However, I think they want to see him on the block and not go home. They want him and Julia up on the block and split up, and with Julia being that target. But I think he has enough connections and also just enough wiggle room. Like he's a very squirmy player where he will just yap and say whatever. And he has a relationship with each and every single one of these people. Um, so I'm not gonna drop it that low. Um, but I am gonna drop it. I was at a 6 last week. You were at the 5. I'm gonna drop down to a 4 because I think his position has decreased, but I think his gameplay ability is strong enough to get him out of it, especially he's one of those weird players where I feel like it actually, not for him to actively cut them himself, but I think that Cooper would benefit from letting people like try and take the shot at him and Julia, and then it hits on Julia, and then people like leave him alone. You know what I mean? So Cooper could go home next week. Cooper could win this game, and it could be anywhere in between. But it is going to be a 4 from me for this week because his whole side blew up. Everyone would like to see him on the block. Um, and those two things are not good in the game of Big Brother.
So true. Um, sorry. Was I at the 5?
You were at the 5, yes.
I think I'm gonna stay at my 5. I think I've been kind of lower on him than you have because he's been doing things that he shouldn't be doing and it shouldn't be working. But for right now, it kind of is. So I'm gonna stay at my 5 for now and see what happens. I know that there have been talks about putting him up, but he hasn't been up since um, he was almost evicted and since he's been bouncing back. So
He hasn't been
I'm
up.
gonna
The only person to nominate Cooper is Laura Menendez.
yes, and he will never let you forget that. Um, but I think I'm gonna stay at my 5 for now. And see what happens with Cooper. EJ.
I have nothing good to say, EJ. I'm so sorry. Watching EJ's conversations, and I want to be clear, this is not just me saying this, EJ. This is everyone in the game, where it's like they have a conversation with you, and like the conversation will go like this. Hey, EJ, what are your thoughts? And then EJ will say, well, thoughts are like things in the game that you think about. So I don't know. What do you think? What? That you just gave a non-answer. He's actively like not strategizing with anyone. And he just kind of like agrees with like whatever the most amount of people tell him. Because of that, it's left him with no real allies. He is at this point, especially now that Andre's gone, the easy person to throw up. I would be shocked if we didn't see him on the block constantly, quite honestly, from this point forward. However, at the same time, I don't know who votes him out because is EJ going to win? No. And I think everyone knows it. No shade, but shade. Um, and it makes me so sad to say, but yeah, I was at a 3 last week. I have no reason to move above it because I just don't get what his game is. I literally do not get what his game is. His game right now is sit there and agree with what people say and just like vibes. We're not even hearing from him in his DR, but I don't even think it's a thing of like he's checked out. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. So it's a 3 from me. And that's all I've really got to say on the matter right now.
Yeah. The problem is he just doesn't have like a temperature read on what is happening right now. Like he'll be texting someone to be like trying to get their vote to go a certain way, and other people be like, I can't believe he's trying to reach out to Abdul to try to get like this way, this vote. And it's like obviously he's already going to do that, but he just has no idea what's going on to know that is true. So I'm going to stay at my 3 as well. Um, It's just like it's gonna be he's biding his time.
He's also the kind of player that like I think refuses to push an opinion. This is a cast of people that are pushing their opinions. That's why we've got things going on like a 7-7 tie. It's because these people aren't willing to just go with the majority. And EJ is someone that doesn't push his opinion and then gets convinced of things, even though he thinks he is pushing his opinion, but he's not. Um, so he's biding his time. Whether it's a short time or a long time, I don't know, but it will be time and it will end in a loss. Mark my words.
It's
Um, moving on. Moving on
Abby.
to Gabby. Okay, this is the point in the rankings now. Moving forward through the rest of this, where, actually not the rest of this, but through some people where I've definitely been hard on some players, Gabby being one of them, and kind of rightfully so, for a little bit of messiness, a little bit of unpredictability of where the game was going to go, a little bit of you could be targeted, things like that. This week, with the one side completely shattering, the other side really locking in, has really shown me, I think, who the players in this game are going to be. And I think that Gabby is going to be one of them. Um, Gabby is someone that thinks a lot. She's someone that pushes her opinion a lot, but she talks things through with people a lot. The fact that she was able to rekindle a relationship with Rod and Sarah after the last few weeks is really incredible. The fact that her and Coop, like, I don't think Cooper seems like on the worst terms with her after everything that's unfolded is crazy. She's really putting in the work, and I am impressed. Do I think it's like masterful levels of gameplay? No. I don't think anyone is giving masterful levels of gameplay this season, and I don't quite think we're like super gonna get there. But with that said, with how the gameplay style of the season has unfolded and like how this game has gone, my confidence in Gabby has gone through the roof. And as I've taken a step back and not like reset my rankings, but like this week really was the first time that it felt normal. And like I ignored all previous rankings, all previous weeks, all everything. And I just took a step back. I looked at the game that was played this week and where it looks like it's moving forward. And we're definitely going to see some jumps in some people. And Gabby is one of them. She was at a 3.5 last week. I think a 3 from you and a 4 from me. I'll be raising my score and I'm going to be giving Gabby a
I
6.
think did I
Um,
3 or 4? I'd probably
I
give her
think
a 3.
you gave her the 3. I think I gave her the 4. I'll double check that, but all to say, I will be raising my score and it's going to be in the green for me. It will be a 6.
That's super funny. That's exactly what I'm going to. But give me a second. I'm trying to find something.
All good. As soon as you start talking, I'm gonna. Oh wait, no, I have my computer charger here.
Um, oh yeah, I this is not the score I wanted to give her last week, but I couldn't because she was on the block and potentially going home. Um, so I'm very glad. I'm going to say this again. I think Gabby is my pick to win the season. Um, so
Interesting.
I
I
feel
disagree with
very.
that.
I just meant like my personal pick to
Oh,
win the
oh,
season. I think she's who I would like to see the most. I think she's probably in the top three with Zion and or Karina and or Julia. I think are my tops right now with Gabby. So I think she's my the one I'd want to see the most, though. I think I would like she would be the person I would want to see win. So I've been wanting to give her a green score for forever. And now I feel like she definitely deserves it. I think moving into losing Johnny, after post losing Johnny, I think she's really going to make a bounce back here. And that was kind of going to be what she needed to propel her moving forward. So I'm giving her a 6 as well this week. I'm very happy to. Cool.
moving on to Julia. Oh no.
Oh no.
Remember last week when I sat here and I was like, I'm gonna give Julia a 6. And then Stephen said, Hey Scott, remember that little thing that Julia did where she kind of pissed all of her allies off? And I went, Oh yeah, I can't give her a 6. Stephen, that was a really good call because oh my
Thank you.
God, how that single decision that she made was the sole thing that set her whole side into this crumbling dumpster fire pit of a mess. And in addition to that, I think she is the person that has recovered the worst from it. She just lost Andre, who is someone that quite honestly, like, was probably someone that was the most loyal to her. And the fact that I'm saying that about Andre is crazy. Um,
Yeah, they've had a roller coaster of a season.
um, so he's gone now. That's not good for her. In addition, she lost Rod and Sarah entirely. That's not good for her. She like tried literally, it's the thing that she said where it was like a few weeks ago where she was like, if this vote is going this way, I need to jump on board and act like I was a major part of it. So that way, like, it seems good. And this week is showing us why that was such a good decision because Julia did not do that this week. She fought to keep Andre, and at the last minute was like, "Hey Rod, like I know we haven't talked much, but I think I'm gonna keep you because just like vibes and like of course like we're close." And like that is seen through immediately. That does nothing. Um, in addition, I think people are now chomping at the bit to get rid of her. This is a major fall from grace. I think that Julia is only my gut tells me that she will have no more than 3 weeks left, and even that's a little generous. However, at the same time, if there's anyone that is a proven veteran at this game that like knows how to do well, it is Julia. So this is not me saying I've lost faith by any means, but I think she is at the end of her rope and she's going to need to find a new rope if she wants to like this is not about saving the rope that you have. This is like Julia, like let go of the rope and hope you grab onto something else and climb from that one. So
Great analogy.
thank you. I will be lowering my score, and it breaks my heart to do this. But this week was bad enough that I do think I have to give her a 3.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every week we've been saying, "Oh, this person's HOH." Like Julia's probably going to be on the block, and to be fair, she hasn't been. But
One of three
that,
people who hasn't been on the walk, which is
but
crazy.
that, yeah, but that consideration, I think, is tough. So I think I'm going to give her a three as well, and I'm going to see where this goes from here. But it's not looking good for Miss Julia Moss, who, again, I take back the things that I've said, and we're besties right now. But it's three. Okay.
Karina. Ugh, Karina, I've wanted to root for you and say you're playing well this whole season,
We were rooting for you.
which is why I'm so happy because I really think she's like, I think we're in it. Um,
Finally.
finally, but also I do agree with you. I think last week you did say it best, where it's like I think I have been being a little hard on Karina, and I think it is because I have
That's
such high
true.
expectations for her. Last week I did give her a 4, um, which was because she lost Johnny in that vote, um, and was going to be the replacement and almost went up on the block. That's why it was a 4. Positionally, it was a 5. And I said that this week, like if she backdoor Julia, I like my God, that would have been awful. Um, she had such a good HOH. In my opinion, probably the best HOH of the season so far, in the sense that she put up Rod and Andre to people that weren't with her. She got Andre out of here unanimously to no pushback, made good on promises with all other members of the house, and has left this game, left this week, not having the worst relationship with Rod. Um, this was wonderful. It was very, to me, it feels very BB26 Chelsea. And like, this was not a flashy move. This was just a smart move. And this is what I needed to see from Karina. Um, the biggest concern that I have about Karina is to compare her to another actual Big Brother US player. I feel like her whole game this season finally clicked for me as being very Tiffany Mitchell BB23, where she is so
Mm,
clearly a good player. She is so clearly navigating the hand of cards that she's given herself wonderfully, but she's putting the game of her team first and is like willingly doing so. In the end, do I think that that is setting herself up for a possible win? For sure. She absolutely, I think, has the capability to beat these people in the end. Do I think that there is definitely a far easier road that like would almost guarantee her a win? Yeah. However, we're too far away from that at this point. We just kind of have to commit to the bit. And I think she's doing a good job. And now, especially once since this jury phase has come in, I've seen her push Gabby to do what she wants her to do, push Zion to do what he wants her to do, push Abdul, put like, you know what I mean? Push Cooper. And has done so successfully. She has EJ on lock. Um, it's impressive. It's impressive. Um, and I think with her having just been HOH, like maybe her name has come off the heat a little bit because people haven't been talking about her as an option. Um, all to say, I am really impressed. I think she's a real contender for this game. I think a lot of people would be inclined to vote for her in the end, which is huge. Um, my stock on Karina is way, way, way up. I have been tough on her. However, I finally see the light and the path forward. I was at a 4 last week. I will be going up to a 7. I thought this is a
mm.
really strong week, and I think she is in my opinion, the second best position in the house.
I mean, she really did the thing where she was HOH. She put up two people. She didn't mind seeing them going, and the person that she preferred to leave left. She didn't. She had full power. She didn't overthink it. She didn't try to do this crazy thing at the end of the week like Rod did last week. I think it's pretty solid as well. I think if I were to guess, we're gonna start seeing some of these people with the lower scores be going home, like the Lauras and the Andres and the EJs and the I don't even know. And Julia's probably gonna fall out. I think we're gonna have a very, very competitive end of the season. Um, kind of like last season. I think last season was a very competitive end of the season. Where really all five people were contenders to
Oh,
win.
sorry, that I agree with. Yes.
All six, six, because Karina was six.
No, no,
No,
no,
Karina
no,
was
no.
five, but Damon
35.
was six.
Um,
Five and a half people in the end were contenders to win. Um, where the least contender was the one to win the game. So I think we're going to see something similar where the people who are not playing as hard are going to be leaving. Not like EJ, and we're going to get a pretty competitive end. I think Karina could be one that pulls it out at the end. Um, I think she is. I think you're right. She's really taking her competition to the end with her, and she is hoping to beat them near the end, which could work out for her. It didn't last time, but we'll see. I'm going to give her 7 as well. I, I mean, I really do think it's her and Zion, Gabby, and the other side really did crumble this week. Like, it's so funny because this was the side that we were raving about 2 weeks ago, and now they've really solidified. So
yeah. This is,
Um,
I think the biggest issue right now for everyone else is the fact that
the first average seven, highest average
no,
seven.
no one is clocking that Karina and Zion are ride or
Hmm.
dies. And I remember saying in the preseason, like, I mean, granted, we didn't know what was fully going on there, whether it's going to be good or bad. But like, I remember saying preseason, like, this could be a very deadly duo. Um,
Yeah.
and I think now that this other side has like shattered, not only are they a deadly duo, it's the fact that no one sees it coming. And do I have faith in some other players? Yes. But the issue is, I don't have faith that they're going to be able to clock it. And it's like, if one of them is going to want Zion out, they're going to go to Karina to do it, and then it's not going to work. And if one of them is going to want Karina out, they're going to go to Zion to do it, and it's not going to work. And the two of them in tandem is tough. That's why I do have Gabby at a lower score because like no one sees it coming. There have been things where like, Matthew knew, but then Matthew's gone. And like Julia made a comment this week when she was talking with Karina about like options. And she was like, why is Karina so hell bent on keeping Zion safe? Like there have been like moments where people are like, oh, peel back that layer, do it. But then they haven't. And like, yeah, no one's clocked it fully. So they're going to be a really dangerous duo. I'll be excited to see how it all
I
goes.
said no one has really caught on to the fact that they go to school together.
Right? Like that for someone, for a cast that's so obsessed with, and like, I guess, do they not post together? I don't know who's followed each other. Um, I mean, Karina doesn't post all that often in general. I'm like checking now. Oh, I don't think I follow Zion yet.
I don't think he posts like either. And it's like at this point in the game, like
Zion
it's not weird that they
Vartanian,
follow each
zero
other.
posts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that checks out. Yeah, okay, so I guess yeah, maybe it's not super obvious. Um, all to say, Karina and Zion are rather dangerous. Um, and Karina's good, and she has the experience, and she knows what's coming in these endgame comps. So I think she's gonna be one to watch out for.
Indeed, I'm surprised nobody had like with the whole vet craze that happened earlier in the season. I'm surprised that she kind of, I guess, because she chose the newbie side. But yeah, Rod.
Okay, Rod landed on the block this week. Not great, not totally unexpected. What was unexpected for me was the fact that he, after, in my opinion, being like the biggest target on his side coming out of last week, was able to put in the really solid work, mend a lot of relationships, make a lot of deals that I think he does intend on staying through to, and isn't in the worst position. Do I think he's super well insulated? No. Am I going to lower my score this week because he was on the block? Yes. However, looking at the board now, and this is like, I think it was Abdul who said it first, and then EJ said, yes, I agree with you, Abdul, to no surprise. Um, but like, Abdul was like, my thing is that Rod, am I working super closely with him? No. But at least I can trust that I know where Rod is looking. And he's made his targets clear and he's always followed through on that. And is it maybe the most ideal for me? No, but at least I know where he's shooting. Andre is a mess that's played in the middle. He's unreliable. I can't get out of him. Goodbye. So I set himself up to in the as like not enough player. Can you hear me or is this? I think this is a you issue. Can you hear me, Steven? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Um, he's not really.
Hello.
Can you? I haven't heard anything of you or really seen anything of you in the last good 3 minutes. Even when you've responded saying like, "Yeah, I can hear you," it's been like
So
non-existent.
remember when I said I can hear you? That
Hmm.
was the last thing I heard from you. So if you can resume from
Cool.
there, I
Love
heard
it.
everything
The
before that,
last thing
and then I
in
couldn't hear
there,
you.
I said I'm going down to a four because he was on the block and his side dissolved, and I don't think that he will be able to beat this other side long term.
Mm,
He doesn't like he has to put his differences aside and link back up with Julian Cooper. And I don't think he's going to. And I think that will buy him safety for a little bit. But it's kind of the same thing where it's like long term, I don't know how this ends. We're at the final nine now. I see Rod landing, if I had to guess, seventh place, something around there.
mhm.
Um, and unlike players like Julia or Cooper or even Sarah, that I think have been able to navigate relationships with the other side, Rod has never really had the ability to like get in with the other side to the point where he has a good strategic and social relationship with them. So it's for that reason that I have a tough time believing that he's going to win this game, unfortunately. But he played impressively this week to save himself. So I will only go down to a four.
Yeah, I mean he has to be red because he was on the block. I feel like, um, but yeah, he did put up a really strong campaign. Um, I'm, I'm just like I think that's size done, and they're gonna have to jump ship or go down with the ship. Um, so we'll see. But I'm also gonna be at a four for Rad as well. Yeah, I guess they're
Sarah, Sarah, look at me in my eyes. I'm looking at the camera. Sarah, Sarah, you said you
yeah.
wanted to make us proud. You said you wanted us to give you good scores. We did for a moment. I want that on the record.
It
But
was
girl,
my record.
this was the most unnecessary crash out of all crash outs that I've seen in my entire life hosting this game. Girl, calm down. Last week at the tail end, we
No,
were
that was my line
saying,
last week. Hold on,
um, what was your line?
that was the most unnecessary crash out I think in the entire franchise.
Oh, I don't remember that. Anyway,
Well, it's on the record, so okay.
um, the she last week had her closest ally as HOH with two people not in her alliance on the block, and one of them went home. She should have just sat there and been happy with that. Do I agree that she should have pushed for which like option was better for her? Yes, absolutely. But Sarah, if it wasn't going your way, don't crash out. Don't leave your alliance. Don't rat all of them out. Don't turn to the people that have not been with you. Like Sarah, like the game has been going well for you these last few weeks because you have this group that all actually trust you. And then in the beginning of the week, like you had Cooper going to her being like, girl, stop. And you had Julia being like, Sarah, I'm one of the few people in this game that does not want you out. Do not turn on me. And Sarah said, no, I don't care. I don't care because my opinion is not listened to. And therefore, clearly this like is not an alliance. And it's like, Sarah, girl. So now Sarah has decided to link up with Abdul is her new ally. Zion is her new ally. She made amends with Rod. Um, and I guess Gabby and Karina to an extent, but it's like, no, absolutely not. She went down to a four. She was at a four average last week. I was only going to give her a three this week but like I feel like I deserve to drop her more than a point after this god awful showing. Do I give her a two? Yes, I do. Because this
Right.
was that bad. This was that bad, Sarah Moynihan. You could deserve a three, and the reason you would deserve a three is because you were able to work in with these other relationships. However, again, a la EJ, a la Andre, none of them are actually prioritizing you. So why are you prioritizing them? So it will be a two.
Give me 1 second. Can you stop? Okay.
That sounded like gibberish to me, whatever you just said, Stephen.
So can you keep talking for a second?
Yes. Um, I'll be interested to see how Sarah. Oh, and mind you, she did all of this on a week where she was safe. She was safe. Karina couldn't even put her up if she wanted to, which means there was no reason to blow up her whole game like this. Um, yeah, ultimately this was just atrocious. This was just atrocious. Um, yeah, no, this was not good.
Um, okay. I have thoughts. I hear everything you're saying, and I do agree with it.
Oh my God.
Why are you saying, oh my God? I
No, keep
just said I
going.
agree with everything you said. I do agree with what you're saying. We didn't even mention the fact that she left the group chat at the beginning of the week. So funny. I I liked the DR that she gave earlier in the week. She said, "I don't care about my longevity in the game, and that should be scary to a lot of people," which I thought was very funny and interesting because I think Sarah has this really great quality where she knows 7 more people are going to be evicted, and it likely just statistically one of them will be her. So playing like she's going to be evicted, I think, is very strong. I do agree with you. Like objectively, this was a bad decision for her. Like crashing
Yeah,
out
to say the
objectively.
least.
But however, I think that quality is such a strong quality to have where she like literally doesn't care what happens and she's so honest and she like is so authentically herself as a player that like she never lies and you know she's not lying to you. I'm saying all this, I'm still going down. I'm gonna go down to a three. I don't know if that was a speech like I was going up, but and really the extra point is she's so fucking entertaining. Like it's so funny. Um, so for nothing else, you're giving us good content for the episodes. And
Yeah,
as a personal ranking, I will stay at a three, or I will only go down to it.
I do agree with you.
I
I
honestly was
think
thinking of staying at a four for that reason, but I feel
um
like it.
I agree with what you're saying. I think it is a fantastic quality that Sarah has. And I honestly think that it is a quality that whoever the winner of this season is going to be will possess. Because there are other people on this cast that possess it. I think Gabby possesses it. I think Zion possesses it. I think Karina possesses it. Um, I think Cooper possesses it. I think Julia possesses it. I don't think EJ does. I don't think Abdul does. Um, and Rod, I'm kind of 50-50 on. I think Rod does, but it's just like safer and smarter about it.
I think
Um,
nobody has it the way Sarah has it.
no one has it the way Sarah has it, except for one person. And I am happily going to use this as a transition to this one person because I think that one person is Zion. They don't do it in the same way. I'm not like Sarah navigates the game differently than Zion, but Zion on more than one occasion has made plays that are not safe plays and very easily could have blown up and sent him home the next week or that week, mind you. And he's been like,
Fair.
fuck it. Like, if I go home, then I go home. But if this works, then I'm in a much better position for it. It's happened consistently and it's worked and it's put him in a insanely good position. He is the one person that I think has consistently been in a good position. Um, and the difference between him and Sarah for me is when Sarah does it, she leaves a group chat of people that are fully loyal to her for no reason at all to side with people that aren't with her, which like love, play actively. Yes, that was actively bad, but at least it was active, EJ. Um, Zion so far has only made moves that, should they work, benefit him extremely. Again, like that week where he was on the block and he actively pushed for the veto not to be used on him, crazy work, but it did work. And he was in a far better position because of it. That's really how I feel. This week, Rod was the target. Zion was the one that started to get this train moving for Andre. Andre leaving this week has set Zion up in the most incredible of positions where he's now got Kags locked the fuck down with Abdul, Gabby, and Karina. He's got Karina as a ride or die that no one sees. He's got this new formed group with Sarah and Rod, of all people. He's got Cooper as a final two, and Julia is stupidly and weirdly loyal to him a little bit. I am very, very impressed. And I'm very happily, for the first time this season, going up to an 8. It will be an 8 from me for Zion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think he is the top contender to win the season right now. I mean, I think even in their chats, like I feel like Karina and Zion know that it would be Zion who would win in the end.
See, I disagree. I think they think it's Karina.
I feel like from reading it, I don't know.
And this is the interesting thing. I think weirdly, like in reading his deal, like I don't know. Like Zion is simultaneously the person that's like, I'm gonna win the season. But I also think like is he playing for Karina to win a little bit?
I don't know. I think
Their
well,
dynamic is so weird,
in
and
the
this
end,
is not
if
the time or place to dive into it. But
no, in the end, if they make it together, it's really not going to be up to them anyway. So,
and that's
but
fair.
I would see a jury voting for him to win over her. But
I don't know. I honestly don't know about that.
well, that would be insane if we got to that
I would
point.
love to see them as the final two. They like I want the Karina Zion final two. Like that is what how I want the season to end.
We shall see. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I think he's in a great position. I think most people are coming to him, um, and have relationships with him. He's they're really in the front seat of this game right now, which is very exciting. I'm trying to think of what could happen to like flip that. It would have to be like someone not on their side coming into power and something crazy happening.
Like
Probably as more people.
it would have to be probably like Julia winning HOH and
Hmm.
putting up explicitly like Abdul, Gabby, Karina, and Zion.
Hmm.
At this point, again, because stupidly their side is shattered. Like I think Sarah is like a legitimate option for Julia to put up, which is like that's what has really propelled Karina and Zion specifically,
Hmm.
and Gabby henceforth a little bit as well into this driver's seat is the fact that Rod and Sarah are so against Cooper and Julia and vice versa. That
Hmm.
this week, on top of the fact that Andre went home, which specifically for Zion was chef's kiss, is what I think has finally solidified this game into a world where I can actually wrap my head around what's going on and who's playing well. and things like that. And Zion is sitting at the top of the game. He like Andre went home because he made the argument to make it happen.
Hmm. That's what we have right now. Three
Yes.
people with a green score. Is that a record for the season?
For this season, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm excited to keep talking about this. Like this season is shaping up to be one of my favorites, but in a, like a whack way. I'm very curious to see how it's going to end and how I'll feel about it after it's all said and done. Um, but like we'll certainly be talking about BBSS 18. Like this is one for the record books. It honestly feels very like I was thinking back to like this feels very BBSS 9 in the sense of like I
Mm.
remember when 9 was happening, we were like, it's so good, but like what the fuck is going
Wait,
on?
yeah, what is happening? Yeah, I remember being
And
like
like now in hindsight, like 9 feels so normal. But like at that point, 9 was like, and like to be like 9 was so crazy. But
it's a
like
fantastic ending. Oh my gosh. I think
um
the last few days of that season, I think were some of my favorites of any last few days.
I think those last few days of the season are some of my favorite days of BBSS in
Yeah, that
general.
was so fun.
Um
Bring
Such a good
Molly
time.
Murphy
Like I
back.
had like
Anyway,
all to say. That's another video when we rank the best days of Big Brother SS. Um but yeah, no, I'm excited to see how this all unfolds. I would love to see a Karina Zion final two. Gabby is going to be a really interesting dark horse player to look at. If Julia
hmm
sticks around long enough, I think she's really interesting to watch. And I'm not out on Cooper yet. Cooper is a villain that I personally don't want to see go anywhere anytime soon. Do I want him to win? No, I don't think so. Do I think he's going to win? No, I don't think so. But I would love to see Cooper make it to like fourth. I'm going to be so real.
nice. All right. Well, see you later.
See you next week. Is there a double next week? No,
No, not until Sunday.
there's another one. Okay.
Okay, bye.